Hey everybody, my name is Ceda C and welcome to the podcast. Today, we're going to introduce you to one of my good friends and a fellow creative that I'm excited to show you and learn a little bit more about with you. But before we get into that, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stick around because I'm trying to make this a little bit more of a regular thing with the help of this guy and my many other friends. And I suppose let's get into it. So today we got Crate. And one thing I know for sure is crate rhymes with great. And that's what, not trying to be too corny to start it off, but that's what I like to say to start it off. But let's learn a little bit about you, my friend. So first off, is there anything I guess you want to talk about as far as like how we met or the people we met through, like Marcus or anybody that any of those stories you want to get into first, or did you want to start with more current things? Would you say? With like or start off by plugging some of your upcoming projects. I'm gonna leave that up to you. It's entirely up to you. We can go any direction you'd like with that.
I would say mostly with how we met, man. That's about years ago. It's definitely especially with AP AP Productions at that time.
Yep.
And then follow suit. Just everything falling in line. Stars align.
Yep. Made a lot of good music in the mid 20 or later 2010s for sure.
Definitely.
And then some music with the label you were assigned to for a minute there. And then we could definitely hop on some tracks soon now that we're reacquainting it at this moment.
Indeed.
But let me think here. Top of the list was a song that we made that really stands out. And I remember putting that track together, and I don't know, just really vibing with that one in particular. That's still out there for him to listen to, ain't it?
Definitely on YouTube.
I was gonna say it should be. Where did you get the idea for that song? As top of the list, or I guess even the concept of like the hook? Because you made the hook on that. Normally they get me to do the hooks like sometimes, but you're definitely like you're a little bit more fluent with hooks than me, honestly. Especially lately, I bet you're probably like one of the hook kings.
Hey, I appreciate that, because normally took a tidbit from like studying how you lay down with the hooks, and then combine it with my style, kind of just manifest on its own. But definitely how I came up with that song, man, that's a great question. I want to say it was just spur of the moment, because seeing how consistent and productive you with your mixtapes after mixtape, and then trying to follow suit, like I gotta catch up. So it's like just developing that habit, and to get to that point and having you as a idol to reference off, and it's just
hell yeah. No, I really appreciate that. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that's like really nice of you to say. That was a really fun track to make. Like I said, I can listen to it to this day, and it's like I don't listen to all my music all the time, but I can like picture how the feel of the sound is and everything with that. So we definitely we should think about making some more like that, or whatever style we end up, because we made some hard tracks too, like that What's Up. You were on the What's Up. Was it the remix? I think it was, because I did the original solo.
There's a remix.
And then that was like the big crazy get together video of the time. That was we were talking about that the other day. But this we could reminisce about like and honestly probably uncover more memories about like music we made and those kind of scenes that we were in the past. But tell me a little bit about what you've been up to lately with music. Like you've got upcoming projects we were talking about a little bit ago. What about even like, let's say, long-term goals? Not even like, I want to get famous and like get the Lamborghini and the mansion,
like
but just what's kind of the long-term thoughts on music right now, with like even whether doing it locally or beyond?
I would say mostly right now is just focusing on the last 3 projects in my mind. Wanted to fully focus on being a songwriter.
Nice.
Recently, writing for a couple artists and locally, but and their songs both been doing well. So with that in mind, the upcoming project I have with the bro C Note goes by C Note Boss.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be releasing here soon on July 4th.
Nice.
So
that's pretty soon.
And we already have our 2 singles out from that album, Wrong Ones and Can't tell us shit.
Nice. No, that's awesome. That's like pretty soon, but long enough to anticipate it for a minute. So we got some time. But I'll definitely I'll have Crate's links at the bottom in the description too, y'all. So make sure to check him out on the music tip. But let me think here. We talked a little bit about past music. We talked a little bit about upcoming music. What are your thoughts on, I guess, like doing shows and stuff lately? Like, do you do shows in Cedar Rapids, or do you want to do shows in Cedar Rapids? I kind of outgrew the shows in Cedar Rapids personally, because like, I don't know, I just didn't really find it to be. Not saying the venues aren't. The venue shows are cool,
Right.
in my opinion. I think like when they have like the venue setups, but it's like most of like the regular shows are gonna be at bars and stuff, and I kind of just got tired of like that bar scene personally. Like,
Same.
would you kind of agree?
Yeah.
I like that there's more venue stuff going on these days, though. So I will say that, not to like knock the scene or anything like that. But you know what I mean? It's like, I like how it's changing, but I wish there was a little bit more of that. But it's something, you know, I can't really complain, I guess, you know. It would be cool to get into more of those.
Definitely
like,
more
venues.
upscale than in the past, you know. So
Yep. It's looking a lot cleaner now. They got some really cool, like what's the one by the river? I can't remember what it might be called. By the river.
It was like was it by Twister? Or not Twister, but Tornadoes?
Not the one by Tornadoes. The one that's like by the bridge. It's not a big deal. I'll probably remember and maybe put a picture up for the viewers, you know, when we get to that point. But no. Well, yeah, since we got through a little, you know, we got a little bit of the background info of you as far as the music. We'll get into a little bit of your personal information. No, I'm just kidding. But to get to know you a little bit on a personal level and where you came from, maybe how you got to meet us here in Linn County and all. So with that, let's get into the next segment. The origins of Crate. I have to start this segment with another corny joke, but like, I'm sorry to ruin this. Has anyone, it's not even like me trying to make the joke, has anyone ever made the joke, like if you had kids, they'd be like little crates, like little like boxes? Like, okay, I was gonna say, if so, I feel kind of bad even saying it, but now I don't feel as bad knowing it's my own corny joke.
No, because it's kind of funny, because I always try to put that into one of my songs or something like that, to where, you know, like back in the day, like the crates of records and whatnot. So I always try to, you know, combine something, you know, metaphorically type, you know.
Yeah, no, I can see that actually. And I'm sure, there's probably a lot of other way better than that metaphors than what I just said, guys, in his music. Anyway, the origins of Crate a little bit. So are you from here?
Not at all.
That's what I thought so. I could not remember. It's been a while since we probably talked about that. Related to that, are you related to Stack? I can't remember.
Oh, yep.
That's what dang.
That's my blood cousin, yep.
Dang, that's cool.
CFO Stack, yep.
Yeah, I'm glad I could confirm that here and now. So where are you from? Tell me about it.
Originally from South Memphis, mostly Mississippi, in the countryside around Rolling Fork, but definitely South Memphis though.
Dang, that's what. When did you move from there to the next place? I guess, like, were you there from there till like adulthood, or
I would say preteen. My grandmother took ownership of me pretty much around. My mom was actually here.
Okay.
And trying to establish something, or you know, sanctuary type.
So just straight from Memphis to CR.
Yep.
Dang. That's not what I would expect. I would expect like Memphis. A lot of people I know that are from like other places, it's like, you know, that place in like maybe Des Moines or something, or like, you know, I don't know. It just tends to be like I'm around in Iowa for a minute, and then it's like CR's kind of chill, but no, that's cool. So yeah, you've been here for the most part since then. And
2001. Actually,
what do you remember about Memphis? Tell me about that.
Man.
Like the music, the food, the
culture, the music,
anything.
the atmosphere, I won't say block parties. It's just like we all get together and just play basketball outside in the streets, like back in the day.
Hospitality, it sounds like. And man, I'm sure the weather was usually nice. It's probably hot there, but like probably not like the bad kind of hot.
No, it was actually dry.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't too sure about that.
It was always comfortable too, because you could just walk outside at any time.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome. What about like the music? Do you listen to like Memphis funk, like the I'm trying to think of like there's like all kinds of Memphis music I can like.
Definitely blues, bro.
Yeah. Who are I guess any underground artists that stand out to you from Memphis, or like do you listen to like the underground from there? And maybe not from these days as much. It's funny because like things that are underground in the past end up becoming more than underground later on. So it's like maybe it was underground back in the day, but you can't call it underground now. But
I mean,
I'm trying to with
my older cousins and whatnot, they always either 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat, was it Country Black? Man, I'm trying to think of his name right now.
And obviously we could look up a bunch, but again, this is more about you anyway. I'm not trying.
A-Ball, MJG, there we go. Boom.
Yeah, A-Ball and MJG, that's a good duo right there. I remember listening to them.
Right. See?
Yeah, no, I was about to name somebody that definitely wasn't from Memphis. There, I'm glad I didn't. I was like,
Frazier Boy. Frazier Boy used to be heavy around, especially around like South Memphis. Like
that. I don't know if I've heard of him honestly. Is Frazier Boy?
Frazier, like Frayser.
Bet Frazier Boy. Huh. Nah, that's good to know. Yeah, any of this info that I don't know, I'm gonna definitely peep later on if I can. When I'm like getting through my editing and stuff. No, that's awesome. So like you moved to CR. What did you think about it when you first got here? Do you think back then? Too bright? Too bright.
I gotta be honest, because it was a whole new experience of seeing not a lot of my people.
Oh yeah,
and
most definitely.
And trying to have the accent that I had, like nowadays you hear Gorilla and Moneybagg Yo, and I still kind of have it, but I kind of developed to the point where
it's like you definitely had to kind of get used to how people talk here, and it's like they look at you weird if you don't talk every like time. Them. It's kind of the vibe, honestly. I noticed
every time, bro,
with my people that are from other places.
So it'd be one other black person. I'm just like, bro, it's like we gotta stick together
all day. Like this is what you deal with all day. Nah, it's like in some cases it'd be like that here. If you know, but
man, hey, especially that 1 year here, bro. I literally went back down south.
Yeah,
I begged my grandmother I want to come back down there because I
stayed there for a little bit and then came back. Mm-hmm. I could definitely picture that. Most people probably would want to do the same. Be like, I need a break from this.
Oh my man!
But nah, it can be chill here, but nah, it's like, and the weather is like, geez, the winters and it's bad.
First time seeing snow.
Hopefully, it wasn't a terrible winter, but
I was baffled at it. But at the same time,
you're like, it's the way it is. People deal with it. You're like, these people can deal with it. So it's you just get it's not terrible every year, I guess, either. The winters, it's something lately it has. But no, tell me about like your era. Like, would you consider yourself a 90s? I don't know if they still call them 90s babies anymore. I don't know. It's all like Gen Alpha, Gen Z, Millennial.
Yep.
It's but we used to say like 80s baby, 90s baby. Yep. I like that term for some reason. And then you had like early 2000s, which made it sounded negative. So I'm like, I don't know. Once that happened, I'm like, I don't think these people are gonna like being called early 2000s, 2010s. Like people use that as like a negative term. I feel. So do they with millennial, though. I think sometimes,
right? Especially when it's like you was born in the 1900s. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
Right, 1900s.
Hold on,
they had muskets, hunted pelts.
It kind of almost makes sense. Like, hold on, wait a minute.
Right, but no, it's I was born in mid 90s, and so like. Normally I would claim the 90s, but as I grew up, I realized I kind of grew up more in the early 2000s. So like, I wouldn't say I'm an early 2000s kid, but like, because I was born in the 90s, but it's weird saying I'm a 90s baby at the same time. But what about you?
Definitely 91.
90. Okay. Nice. You're true 90s. You got to enjoy the good things about the 90s, the cartoons, like the good cartoons, man. The reruns from the 80s too, which were fire in the 90s.
Man, Hong Kong Phooey.
Dang, I don't even see. I know what it looks like. I don't know about that though.
Man, look, so Yogi Bear, look. Hey,
yeah, I watched a little bit of Yogi Bear. What do you think about like Power Rangers?
Bro, that was my mom would tell you to see every other birthday's either Power Rangers or something with.
Oh, Power Rangers birthday in the 90s crate. He said, I'm 90. He said, I am the 90s.
Hey, I tell you right now, I have proof, receipts, everything
Oh,
in my
wow.
baby books, man.
The Power Rangers birthday. I think I had a Star Wars birthday of some kind one time, which that's a lit idea for sure. Man. Power Rangers, that sounds so in the 90s though. And Power Rangers birthday in the 90s.
And it was always
I feel like I was there, bro. That's so 90s. I love it.
Oh, especially when Space Jam came out for the first time. I had my Space Jam thing. Yeah. They went lit.
Space Jam. Oh, wait, did you watch the Space Jam sequel?
Oh yeah, I did.
Did you like it?
It was decent.
Okay. I haven't seen it honestly. I'm not tapped in like that. I saw the original later on, so I wasn't like, again, I'm technically early 2000s. I didn't see it till a little later on. So, or maybe I saw it when it came out, but I didn't remember it because I was so young at the time. But yeah, it was something I had to catch up on a little bit later. But yeah, I heard mixed reviews about that. The sequel,
it was nice to see the characters again, but it's kind of like it didn't live up to. I mean, obviously, sequels normally don't usually live
especially
up to
the distance from when it dropped, the original drop.
Exactly.
But now, what about, let's see, he had the Power Rangers in the 90s. Let's see, that just threw my whole train of thought off about the 90s. All right, so what about let's see, Nickelodeon? What are some of your favorite? Because I've done like comparisons where I'm like doing Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon and stuff. What are you thinking about?
Actually, I literally had this thought process lately. Like, man, am I more of a Nickelodeon kid or a Cartoon Network kid?
Oh yeah, we'll have to do one of those. I should have thought about that ahead of time, doing a tier list where we like rank the different things, because I usually be doing that on my collabs on my other channel, but this is like, I was kind of thinking all new. But yeah, we'll do one next time. We'll get a tier list. We'll either rank it or we can do versus, like you were talking about, like Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon, and see which one you like more. Because that's what I did, like Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon. I want to say Cartoon Network. No,
definitely.
I want to say Cartoon Network was the winner. I'd have to watch it, and it was based on the shows that were like available in the options. But then I also did like Simpsons versus King of the Hill characters, and that was really interesting because it came out pretty even. I think I was like surprised because there was a Homer versus Hank, and like Peggy versus Marge and stuff like that. But that was a long time ago. But no, we'll have to do a tier list of some kind when we now that we're tapping into some of the things that make it easier for me to find those to prepare. Well, by my feet, I've got like Beyblades. Oh, so I was really close to the mic. I got like, the Beyblades. What, did you mess with those at all?
I never owned one, but I always watched the show, original Beyblade.
The show was pretty good, actually. It was solid. I got a few of the original actual Beyblades in here. And I used to watch that show when I was a kid. That's more like the early 2000s when that was dropping, I think. But we got like in here. What do I got? I got like the Beyblades. I got Pokemon cards. I have a binder of those on a shelf somewhere. Did you have those?
I definitely had some, but I was more into like Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon.
I bet. Yeah, Digimon, man. That's
the most slept on, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, because that and Pokemon were dropping, and then Pokemon kind of became more popular, and then Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. But yeah, no, Digimon was like definitely my thing for like, I would say majority of like my earlier year, like earlier TV years. It's like Pokemon, and then like later on, Pokemon, and then wait, what were we just talking about? Yeah, it was
Pokemon. Then it was Beyblade.
Yeah, Beyblade. Also, Yep. Yep. But no, all that. What about anything else from the 90s that stood out to you? But like from your upbringing, like even like, I guess, because we talked a little bit about, or I don't know if we did discuss like specifically like Nickelodeon shows. I think those are more like Cartoon Network. But did you have any favorite Nick shows too? Like, was it like Hey Arnold or like
from cartoon or to like live action? I say Angry Beavers.
Angry Beavers, yeah.
Definitely Cat Dog. Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. Hey Arnold. Wild Thorns. Yeah, Wild Thornberry.
Ooh, well, yeah, Wild Thornberries. That was probably one of my favorites, low key.
Because kind of teaching you around wildlife. Because it always brought me back to
just being good to wildlife. The Steve Irwin vibe. talking to animals would be sick. That's one thing I think about with AI being more like prominent or whatever, getting more popular, is like one thing it could be used for is helping us understand what animals are thinking or like trying to say and stuff.
Right.
Obviously a lot of AI will be used for bad things, but that would be an interesting thing, like being able to like listen to a bird tweet with it and then like actually get language recognition from it or something.
That would be actually insane, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting because they've used it to like help learn languages that were like not fully understood, I think, at this point. Some pretty interesting things like that. But no, that's good. So getting back to like growing up a little bit outside of TV, who were some people that inspired you growing up? Like, would you say, like, was it family? Did you have any good friends growing up that like, not even when you were like super young, even when you were like teenager, after you moved, you know, whenever, just inspiring people to you that were like closer to you that you'd feel like, or that you'd feel comfortable talking about a little bit, or giving, and possibly giving a shout out to at this point, I suppose.
Oh, I mean,
probably a bunch of people. Honestly.
I was about to say, but like the off rip, it's gonna be PZ Crack. If y'all know who that is, you've seen him do projects for Coke Boys, you know, French Montana group.
I'll bet.
Montana 300. Also with back then, what was it? Big Bang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he definitely did a lot of beats for them too. So it's like,
okay.
he mostly, because I'm always like over his crib and everything. His mom, know my mom. We've been childhood friends since then. So he just saw me doing poetry one day and tried to put me onto this like this rap vibe. I was like, I don't know how I can do that, bro. He said, bro, you already doing poetry. I was like, I mean, yeah, but that's for the ladies. And since then, man, just watching him just from where he started until now, it's like amazing to see.
That's dope.
It was definitely a turning point in my life where you got different artists locally coming in, and then I'm getting introduced to them just by proxy. So,
man, Big Bang, they're a good crew to network through for sure. I used to do a little bit of work with them, like when I very first started, because they let me in. Chuck's little bro is my friend, and he let us. Oh yeah, you know, J-Mo. He let us record at that studio forever ago. That was like one of the first times. But yeah, shout out to them for sure. And you said that's PZ Crack, was it?
PZ Crack.
Most definitely, and yeah, I'll be sure to look into him a little bit as well. I definitely need to tap in more, just with anything that I'm not already tapped in with locally. That's always a nice tip, you know, because you hear about a lot of the same things and the same people and the same happenings. The same people expect a lot of the same things, so a lot of the same things happen. So it's good to kind of take yourself out of that, I would say.
Indeed.
Let me think here. What about, and that was more growing up, I guess. What about right now? Is there besides me, obviously, who inspires you? I'm just kidding. I mean, I know, and we inspire each other. I'm sure, you know, we definitely inspire each other. But who else, whether it's someone we both know already or someone I don't know, what about lately, who kind of inspires you to keep things moving?
I would say, like I said, C-Note. He's been adamant and just
he's been around a long time,
like literally around the same time with PZ, so it's kind of hand in hand. You know, he's seen what I went through throughout life, and then also still in my corner to help me just grow into my own type. So that's why he's been like pushing me. He's like, nah, bro, you gotta stay into this music, man. Like, you know what? Let's do this collab albums type. So it's like, it's been nothing but love, to be honest.
Did they work together, Sino and PZ?
I wanted to have them linked, like, finally, before he moved to Missouri, but man, you know how times get away from us.
And it's hard to like link people up. It's like like linking up with people is one thing. Linking people up that don't know each other that can be really difficult too. But no, that's awesome, man. I like to hear about the people that inspire other people, especially if it's, you know, anyone we can look into, you know. We got these digital footprints, and like we get on the mic and get creative, so it's nice that we can share that with each other too, and they can share that with us. Well, we'll probably move on to the next segment. got some kind of just a few different questions I'll ask you, man. This one's gonna sound kind of funny. So, what's something that would make you cheer in happiness, like good news? That would just be like, yeah, like a new game coming out, a new show coming out, a new episode of a show coming out. Even just like tell me a little bit about what comes to mind. Just like would make your day, and just be like, but really like get you like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like you just found out. Like I don't know.
I would definitely say at least one of my favorite anime shows that'll come out, and especially with the movies I've seen that's about to release soon.
A movie of a show?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way you can just go to the next segment. I'm anxious about two of them.
Bet. What do we got? What's the show first? Or I guess like the movie will be of the show. So it's like tell me I guess about the show because you're familiar with it.
Demon Slayer.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that too.
Oh,
so
wow.
give me a little background. Give me a little background on anime. On this anime, Demon Slayer.
I would say,
do they slay demons?
I mean, yeah.
do they do that?
Just basically to the point. Yeah. Definitely. Tanjiro. Woo, I remember. He's mostly the main character, and in the beginning, he finds his family besides his sister slain.
Okay.
By one of the actual main, I want to say what they call them, antagonists.
Mm-hmm.
So, after that, he got a scent off of him. Seen him, if I recall, but then what's this word I'm looking for? Oh, sister. His sister ended up becoming a demon.
Okay.
But one of the demon slayers, he came and tried to save him at the last minute, but Tanjiro wasn't really thinking of, she's a demon, that's my sister in his mind. So he's still trying to protect, even though the sister's trying to attack him.
Yeah.
But she kind of like had recollection and just hold off a little bit. And
I got you.
I can't think of his name. Good Lord. But he ended up was just shocked by it because he never seen a demon withheld attacking someone.
Fight that urge.
Yeah. So that's just the
little taste.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're making a movie of. Is the movie going to be live action or anime still?
It's the anime.
Anime's still good. That's a good thing. I take.
Oh,
you probably don't want live actions of hardly anything these days. No, that's cool. I like that. Some good news, hopefully, and that's good news you did get.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So it was manifested.
Hopefully,
I mean, by somebody, probably at least somebody. Nah, I won't say that. I mean, no, that's cool. What about let's see, getting back on anime. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about anime in the 90s, in the early 2000s, a bit. What can you tell me more about anime these days? Is it better than it used to be? Do you think it's solid? Do you think it's not as good as it used to be? Because you've probably been watching it a little bit longer than me. I used to watch it more when I was a kid, and I knew it was around back then. So right. I'm certain you probably did too.
I would say definitely it jumped. It's upscaled. It upscaled a lot.
Okay.
Storytelling. Excuse me. Like characters and the building up each like storylines. It's been an adventure.
Most definitely. I've seen some interesting concepts, we'll say, like it's like I woke up as a slime.
I still haven't
slime or whatever. It's like I don't know. And then there's the primal show where like the guy like is, I think he gets, what is it called? I think people get turned to stone and it's like all primitive.
Dr. Stone, yeah.
Dr. Stone. That was an interesting. I looked into that a little bit just to like get the plot line of that because it seemed a little different. That seemed there's some different type of stuff dropping these days. And then we got Attack on Titan was cool. I remember watched a couple episodes of that a few years ago. It's over now. But no, that's what I know a little bit about it. But I definitely could see that there's like a lot more ideas out there and different types of writing going into it. Maybe a little bit of AI here and there to make it
that's just more scary part too.
Yeah, that would be interesting, like a full AI anime. I'm not sure if that's a thing. I was thinking, I think I might have said it on my other channel on a podcast, but it'd be cool if there was a way to like AI generate a regular movie as an anime movie, like
Mm.
you know, you can just watch anime Meet the Fockers. It's like this is the most
insane.
random movie. You're like, oh, I could watch this in anime right now, like anime. I almost said one that's a cartoon. Anime, The Water Boy or something. You know, that'd be
actually
kinda
that'd be kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
It'd be cool to watch.
That's actually a good one. I
like that idea. It might be taking money from somebody somewhere because it always is. It seems, but
because it's definitely comes down to the prompts. So it's like super detailed into it.
Yeah,
it's
and you could do enough frames.
Yeah,
and stuff,
it's insane, bro.
Or add a filter. Man. But yeah, that'd be pretty legit. But yeah, no, that's what about, do you think there was ever like a lack of good anime coming out now that we're talking about how there's more of it? Do you think there maybe was less of it or not enough of it growing up? I kind of used to think that because when I was a kid, I liked to watch Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, but I always back then I kind of craved it and there wasn't enough anime, and that's when you start watching Adult Swim because you realize that they've got anime more than like Toonami has, and then you watch like some Gundam, some people getting their arms blown off. You're like, whoa, this is cool. Or like Inuyasha and Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ronin Warriors.
Oh man, that's like so old. I remember the toys of those. Bro. They had like the armor that came like off and the magnets and stuff.
Wildfire is always my favorite. Like when they combine their power. Oh my god.
They had crazy armor and those action figures were cool for that show. I really liked that one. I don't really remember much of the plot line. It's kind of like Sailor Moon where like I saw it, but it was so long ago. Like I watched the first episode of Sailor Moon a little while ago, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. I don't know what's going on. It seems weird, but like in a nostalgic kind of cool weird, where it's like refreshing in a way to just still check out. But yeah, that early the Adult Swim early anime that getting on there was always fun. But yeah, no, I'm glad that there's more anime out, I guess, for the anime watchers. I'm not as into it, but I do see whenever a new movie comes out that's anime, sometimes I be checking it out. They be trippy. They be having there's like what was it? There's the Witch's Mary and the Witch's Flower that came out on Netflix, and it was like they had like anime Hogwarts in that movie. Basically, It was pretty crazy. Yeah, they had like an anime Hogwarts, and like there was like some evil thing trying to take over that or something. But yeah, no, there's some pretty interesting new anime out there that I'm aware of too, even though I'm not a huge watcher or consumer. But no, that's great. Hold on, I had more questions that were aside from the first one here on my random list. So like these days I think it was like all about Gen Z being the young people, but I think we're more on like Gen Beta and Alpha being like the new gen. Right. We got some interesting modern slang coming out these days. I'm sure you've heard some of which. I have a good list here. Some of which is crazy. Some of these are outdated already. And I just made this list like not that long ago. I've made it over the course of a year maybe, and I update it from time to time. But like I don't update it all the time. So some of these are surprisingly not really used as much anymore. And cap is not on the list, but cap would be an example of something like that where people probably say like no cap still, but not that many young people really be saying no cap and cap and stuff. But I'm just gonna go through the list. You can tell me your thoughts on. You don't have to like define it or act like you know what it means.
No, I front. Look.
We got. I might know what some of them mean. We'll start here. And there's a couple that I haven't even added to the list because they're always adding them. So Sigma. I grew up not really knowing the word Sigma at all, not gonna lie. But when I learned of the word Sigma, it was probably like, I think Greek letters like Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Sigma. The way that they use it these days, are you familiar with how kids use the word Sigma these days? So there's like the idea of being the alpha male. You're familiar with that? Right. Like where you're kind of like you walk into the room and you're like the leader, you give leader aura or leader vibes. And there's like a beta male, which is like the inferior male. And this isn't something I believe in. This is like just internet ideas that some people talk about on podcasts and like promote, red pill culture and stuff, kind of. Right. It's like, but there's like the beta male, which is like the inferior males. And then the Sigma, I guess I think that idea came from being a person who is not really the alpha or the beta. It's kind of like the person who doesn't want to be the alpha, but isn't like a complete beta, useless, like inferior person or wolf. And then
you
like
would think that'd be like Omega, ain't it? Like
I don't even know if that's the thing. It could be that could be a completely different thing. I'm not even tapped into. But that's the way they be using it a little bit. Is like there's a sigma male, and that male is basically like in the idea of like it being guys or whatever. How it's like alpha male, beta male, and stuff. It's like a sigma male, is somebody who's just confident in themselves, but doesn't walk into the room and try to be like the alpha confident, so like Giga Chad or whatever.
So an example like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's a pretty good example. I would say of a sigma male. Not gonna lie, that's a pretty solid. I would probably use him as an example too. Just like. He does give that energy, I would say. If I'm even defining it correctly. I was trying to think of that and was way off the camera there for a second. It's all good. So like next, or not next, but like so they've adapted the sigma word to now be what the sigma. So that instead of being like what the heck, they just be saying what the sigma. Oh, and the other day I was out and about. There were these kids I think they were trying to like get into a door or something, but they saw that I saw them. I don't even know if they were supposed to be at the building they were at, but they were probably like trying to see if a door was unlocked or something. And I was like, I just kind of looked like over in that direction. They thought I saw them, and then like one of them like looked really surprised when he saw that I like noticed them and was like. Sigma, and like they all ran away. So I'm like, they don't even know what they're saying anymore. They're just saying a word, and they said Sigma. Yeah, but I just thought that was pretty funny.
Oh wow!
And that's the most recent adaptation of the word was just like Sigma, and then runs away. So I'm like, what are we doing here, children? What are we doing, guys?
Oh man, definitely a new day and age. Oh,
this slang, and that's just one word, man. Okay, so next I got. For our slang, they be using the word phantom tax sometimes. Oh, have you heard that?
Yes, and that's.
Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
What would you say?
It's off of from Kais and that, and you know AMP. They're
the AMP. Yeah, podcast.
So mostly
click. Yeah.
Like when in that big house or whatnot, and usually they get bring food. If Phantom around and you ain't offer him no food, he's damn sure gonna make sure he gonna appear.
He gonna tax. That's why I like that you know what that is too. What are your thoughts on AMP? Do you watch like any of the Kai Cenat streams or anything?
I try to catch him here and there, but with my daily life, it's kind of difficult. But I be seeing certain clips, off of TikTok. So
yeah, I keep up with it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, mostly TikToks and reels and clips, and then like I'll watch a stream every now and then. I watched Kai Cenat's 30-day, not every minute of it, but I watched that 30-day stream here and there because he was doing stuff pretty consistently.
Especially with it's like Kevin Hart showed up and
and Glorilla and. Like all kinds of people, really. Yeah. It was a whole thing. I mean, they had something almost every day.
That man works his ass off.
People think it's easy. It's like, could you really plan something like that? Like, what would a 30-day stream look like to you? We could do a whole segment about that. Right? Almost.
Then he had to do like one episode where he had to have an IV to help him re-nourish his whole
body. Just to get because he's probably not sleeping enough and like getting enough to eat and just doing a lot. Really, being on camera a lot is stressful too. People don't really think about that. But yeah, the phantom tax. You know what phantom tax is? That's great. I like that. I'm glad you know what that is. Honestly, I didn't want to feel super out of touch by being the only one in our age group to know. And you're a little tiny bit older than me. So it would make sense at the same time. Though. Not calling you old. I'm old. I mean, I'm up
big
there.
bro. We in big bro stage.
Yeah, exactly.
They try to claim us as unk. Like, nah, we ain't there.
Nah, I know. I mean, hearing that sound like we ain't unk yet, bro. Like, I don't think so. Maybe to like literal children, but nah, man. So next on the slang list, this one's easier to understand. We got type shit or type.
I be on that.
That's hard not to once you start, especially it's type. And that's funny because that is a song. It's based on a song of all things.
That's why it's just like that was just coming naturally because obviously we heard it. Yeah. So it's just they just took it and ran with it. So
everyone heard it the first time was like
type shit.
Yeah, just exactly, man. Indeed. We absorbed it.
Facts, bro.
Shit. No, man. I mean, it was a good song, though. I definitely listened to it a few times.
Natural, man. Look, comes with the culture.
Yo, type shit. You could say, I could say it right now. I could have just said it right there. Oh, man. So we got, similar to that, people be saying fine shit. Like,
that one I just
kind of picked up on.
Yeah, a couple of my nephews down south.
That one kind of caught me off guard.
No, first. Because I'm like, what the hell? Fine shit. Why you just say she fine as shit?
Yeah, right. It's like you're gonna call her fine shit. Like it's like because they'd be like, what up? What's happening? Fine shit or like whatever. It's like that's not smooth to me. Yeah, but maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just old.
I'm right there with you, bro. Because I still can't even utter the words to a female like that.
Yeah. Well, and then I don't even have it on the list. But on top of that, they be saying. They just be calling them the huzz, you know, like instead of calling them hoes, now it's like the huzz, and it's they be spelling it different, like HUZZ or HAUGHZXY. Nah, if I was just a boomer telling a joke, that's how they be all, and they say it all HUG. Like, oh man, that's
I be like you said, I be tapping in, bro, because I be like, what did he be coming up with nowadays?
Yeah,
like
the huzz, like they're okay. The women are okay with that. What do you mean?
But when it came to us,
it's like a bitch is not a bitch, a hoe is not a hoe. It's like, we know, I didn't say that, dude. No, facts. I didn't know. I'm not saying it.
I mean, we was more slick with it saying garden tool. But
yeah,
I mean,
and now they're just saying it, and they're just like, hey, huzz, what up, fine shit?
It's just like, they got it.
I couldn't. Even my younger self. We got, I should say. I don't know if that's one that I think might be a little outdated at the moment, or it's getting there. It's probably getting phased out.
It's because it's getting overused.
But yeah, it got way overused. The gat, and like people were saying it wrong too as part of it. When like something is said wrong, if enough people can't figure out how to say a word, then I'm sure it's gonna die out, because that probably happens a lot. What's your favorite word that would have been gat from the past? Like how we would have said booty or ass or cake, or like, I guess my favorite is probably cake, not gonna lie.
I would say
it just fits
apple bottom?
Apple bottom or peach. Some people
yes.
saying the peach.
Because I put that literally in the song not too long ago. Like, that shows my age. I don't give a fuck. But still.
Or hourglass sounds, but that's more like a body shape rather than saying like the part of the body.
Because, you think of peach, I always think of Georgia. So it's like.
Yeah, the cake definitely kind of, it's descriptive enough for my liking.
That's why, it works. It fits. If it's, same in the same context, let it ride.
Yeah.
So,
but the gat, I couldn't really get with that, because they'd be like, look at that gat, or they'd be like, gee, they would say it wrong. Yeah. The way that I understood using it at first was like, you see the ass, like if you were like out and about and you saw
so I guess that's what it is. Like, so it's like, God,
like a reaction.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes sense, and I can vibe with it, but people just called, hey, look at that giat over there. It's like, that's no, that's so bad. Like, that's what you be hearing.
But first of all,
no, just go. Just don't look away. Miss, he is stalking you. He just like, oh no. Let's see. A phrase I be hearing, I don't even know how old this one is, like, let him cook. Let him cook. Yeah, I like that. I like hearing that, because it's like a, it's encouragement. It's you can see someone doing something cool. It's like, hey, let him cook.
Facts. And it's crazy too, because I literally before that even became a thing, had a song, with Luke Kane, Cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that actually. That's like,
so
one of the main ones I remember.
Same in the realm. It's like, well, shoot, if I would have known, they would have just kicked up. I should have re-released that song.
Let them cook. Yeah, I'm glad y'all. Yeah, man, y'all cooked up a lot of good songs too. Luke Kane and y'all were doing a lot of good work too.
Ike, look,
yeah,
hey, bro, and I still got some songs on the way. So that's why I'm like, man, it's better be crazy.
Most definitely. Some would even say, oh man, I can't. I'm not good at using new slang. The next on the list is tough, as in that song. Tough. That jacket is tough. Hey,
but
sir.
Excuse me, but it has two different meanings too.
Yeah,
I found that out. where it's like, man, shit, that's tough. Like,
Yep.
It's how you say it too.
Like it's like, yeah, it could be like that looks cool, or it's like that's hard, or it could be like that's nice. Like
facts.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that one. That's one I could use more, but it's not in my vocabulary quite yet. Most of this is just, these are words, man. And there's a lot of, I mean, all these, this is like halfway through the list, and this ain't even, it's not that long of a list. I haven't been updating it
like
that
aura
late.
farming or
Yeah, that's not even on here, but yeah, aura farming. Aura in general was kind of overused for a minute. Now it's aura farming, and everyone's, if you do anything, then you're aura farming. You're not like, or clip farming. If you're like doing anything entertaining, you're farming. It's like, maybe, but not everybody. I mean, they might just be,
because it'd be standalone-ish, or just, just.
Yeah, exactly. It might just be like a standalone thing. It's like, bro, it's aura farming. Like you wearing those glasses right now, and like just being on a podcast, honestly, create your aura farming. You're just trying to farm my aura. Nah.
But no, it's just like you said, bro. Just most of you don't have to be doing anything. You just be standing there, looking.
Like, look at bro aura farming over there. And the same with nonchalant, which is not on my list, but I could add. Exactly. It's like you're just being nonchalant. It's like, I'm not being nonchalant, I'm just standing here. But some people do be like overly like, like did you see the clip of the kid? It was like at a school, what do they call those, assemblies, where they were doing some, like, I think they were doing a tug of war, and the kid was trying to be nonchalant, and he just like let go of the rope and was just standing there like, no, bro, I'm good. It's like, that's the kind of nonchalant where like I get it, because you're literally just kind of being cringe, but you think you're being cool. And I don't know. That's you're overdoing the nonchalantness. Much, You're overly nonchalant at that point. I guess maybe that could be a whole thing that they be saying. I bet that is. It wouldn't even surprise me. Next, we have lore. Now, that's just it's not really an overly used type of new slang, but I do hear it more often, as opposed to, I feel like people used to say backstory more often. And nowadays, people go right to, what's the lore of this thing? So it's not like a terrible word that I think like children are using.
I think it's pretty cool. That word kind of like...
It's more descriptive than just a backstory, because lore is like the more beginning to now, where backstory is like what happened back then, I imagine, to like a certain point maybe.
Right.
But that's one that I've been noticing more, is like lore. And I don't use it a ton, but I probably use that one a bit. Similar to let him cook, there's she ate.
Oh yeah.
Which in the past would have been, I guess, she slayed, or you know what I mean? Like in more recent history, it would have been like, so it's interesting how that adapt to like she ate, or like let her cook,
or like, clock tea, something like that.
Tea clock or something like It used to be like she slaying, or she slayed. Man, I will do this. Okay, people don't use it as much, but I'm sure like it's still probably used in groups. But like sus, I feel like that was popular for a while. At first, it was like suspicious. Yeah, it was like you're playing the game. There's an imposter. Was it Among Us? You're playing Among Us. There's an imposter, and then the person who's potentially the imposter is acting suspicious. You're being sus, I think, is kind of the root of that. And then I don't like how it became like kind of not really like a slur for gay people, but it became like something. They'd be like, you're acting sus, instead of like, this guy's being zesty, I guess, because now it's like they say zesty more mixed with that. But I feel like sus kind of became that for a minute.
Really?
too.
How about to say, normally it's either zest or
that's like the most common, I would say. Like he's like acting zesty if someone does anything. I guess that's like, I could be pictured as feminine. Well, I won't even say gay necessarily, but feminine. It could be like, oh, you're being zesty. Sus was like, oh, that's kind of sus, bro. Like, I don't know. In like vlogs and stuff, I'd see that language used.
I mean, actually, back then kind of used that term, but mostly just, like I said, man, natural.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. It's interesting how, like I said, it's interesting how these words change so quickly. Like some of these aren't that old, but they're like not even really used anymore. A more current one would be, I guess it's kind of it's still used, glazing.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that,
yeah.
there's
I
a
know
lot
that one.
of glazing, so I get why it could be used pretty often, but like at the same time, it's like, why does everything have to be glazing?
Bro,
It's like, yeah, the aura
can't
farming.
compliment
It's like,
anybody.
can't compliment anything, anybody. If someone's like how like you complimented like me for song or from like work ethic, and
Right.
I've done the same on this podcast. It's
They're like,
glazing
hey, right.
apparently.
Hey, I need to stop glazing. I was like, bro, what the?
Like, oh. And then last on my list for right now, we'll go with cooked. Like,
chopped or cooked?
Chopped or cooked, yeah. Well, cooked would be, I guess that you could use them differently, and we could clarify. Like, chopped would be like ugly or not presentable or ruined. I guess in some case, like it's chopped. It's just you don't want to show that. Like,
I see what you mean.
It's like I don't know. Something like
cooked is like you pretty much set up for downfall.
Yeah, I would say so. And then like cook could be like, yeah, it's like you said, set up for downfall. Like people are like the oh yeah, these kids these days are cooked, or like the new generation's cooked.
Yep.
So that's like one that I still hear pretty often. I would say actually, because maybe it's true. People be acting like it's like there's a unanimous consensus, I guess, apparently, that the kids are cooked and the new generation's cooked for certain I guess what's a reason you could think of why, not necessarily maybe like you're saying the kids are cooked, what's something you could identify from like technology being more popular and stuff that maybe could indicate kids are more cooked, like iPads or something? I don't know. Can you think of like what comes to my mind is like how in schools kids are on laptops more often ever since COVID, and when like books used to be the only way we learned back in the day, but now it's all like you log in, you're on a laptop more of the day. So I'm sure that has some kind of impact on like
the social, like being more social, face
and
like face value,
being able to read and stuff too.
Yeah, because it's just going to take away from that human interaction and actually developing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Social skills, like mostly.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the word social skills. Yeah.
So it's just they're gonna be either stuck in that abbreviation of TMI or BRB.
Everything's got to be abbreviated more and more until it's just No, I'm sure there's some comedian.
Like, bro, there's literally a whole new abbreviation for shut your bitch ass up type shit.
Oh yeah,
I saw that. I was like, what the?
Like, can we split it into segments or parts at least and abbreviate some of the parts?
I was
like, what? Like, golly,
it's literally SYAB.
Like, I'm supposed to know it all. I mean, I guess I do. But
SYB.
Do I want to type that out? I mean, how often am I going to type that out?
No, seriously.
But somebody, maybe they do. But what do you think about, because we were just talking about like, kids these days, how cooked they are. What do you think about like a kid growing up listening to NBA Youngboy, for example? Or do you like NBA Youngboy?
Oh, yeah.
I like NBA Youngboy. I think his music can be considered violent, but like a lot of hip hop is in some way. Not all of it is, obviously, but he does make more violent music. But what because we could definitely compare that to listening to 50 Cent when we were younger. That was violent. There's more like, plenty of.
Said it too. That's literally one of the books I read that was wrote it was wrote by him and one of the guys that I can't think of his name right now. Robert Greene.
Okay.
They wrote 48 Laws of Power.
Got you. So, but yeah, like, I guess so I kind of answered my own question there. It's like, if a kid is out there growing up listening to Youngboy, it's comparable to listening to Tupac if you were a kid in the 90s, I guess. But it's still interesting to think about, though. Some people would say it's like, oh, kids these days are cooked because all they listen to is Youngboy, NBA, and Lil Peep. And it's like, bro, sure. I don't think that's that big of it. I think it's more like the learning curriculum and stuff that affects the kids these days. And schools aren't doing a terrible job, in my opinion. There's
half and half.
It's all about what school and stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's like the school's fault. It's more like the teachers' faults, because some of them are just regular people with jobs, and not all of them are good at it. And then not all the schools get enough funding too, I guess. But yeah,
we can't also. Sometimes parents do.
Oh yeah, and the parents, and the parents, most definitely. Yeah, I'm not trying to blame the schools. I'm just as far as like what they're being taught, like outside of the home. But what they grow up with at home, I mean, that'll definitely mold them the most. Like at the end of the day, especially if it's like a disorganized environment,
right?
That'll always play a huge role. Alrighty, so to keep things rolling, we got a few topics to roll out the last segment of this podcast with, but just again, do want to thank you for joining us today, Crate, and checking out the studio. What are your thoughts on the studio so far? This is your first time here. I literally just got you here and you walked down and we're in the studio. It wasn't even like a whole tour really.
It's dope. Look, I want to record. Look, couple songs, let me stop. But no, it's really dope, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, it's good to have you here. I don't have enough people here, it seems, these days. So definitely gotta get people through more and do more of these. But no, I appreciate you coming through for sure.
Hey, thank you for having me. Look,
absolutely. So we have some. For this next short segment, some Joe Rogan's pets. It's his pet subjects. I don't know if you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast a ton or watch it. I don't either, honestly. When I do listen to him, it tends to be some of the same or similar topics because he has a guest on. And if they're into the same things, they'll kind of go over the same things. So. For example, I'll just read the whole list here. It's just a few things that I mainly have in mind. So there's, he usually goes over current events at some point in his podcast, aliens or UFOs, something about ancient cultures is usually a topic, a conspiracy, if that's not related to the aliens or UFO stuff. And then he'll usually throw in some hunting and outdoorsman stuff in there. So we'll kind of just go through these pet subjects of Joe Rogan on our own podcast here. And basically, yeah. So to start off, are any current events really on your radar lately or this week or have been in the near future? It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Right. I'm gonna say not lately, to be honest.
Yeah, not a whole ton has been going on. I would say it's been because we had the whole election stuff. Like, what was that in the winter? Like before winter.
Right.
So now we're like in the summer, and it's just been kind of like waiting for it to get nice out. I feel. One thing I did hear about today was Trump pardoned YoungBoy NBA from his because I think he was on house arrest. I don't think he was in prison, but I think he was in prison recently and was out, I think, on house arrest or like a long probation for illegal gun possession because he had like an AK and there was a video of him with an AK. Then he got arrested for that and put on house arrest for forever. And then I think he like broke his probation or broke his house arrest during that, and then that's how he got back to prison again. So there's like probation violations and stuff multiple times, but I guess YoungBoy is pardoned, and I don't know if that. I mean, it's definitely not going to mean like he's able to just buy guns and stuff. I'm sure he still has a record, but like, I mean, that's kind of interesting because he was I mean, it all started from him like getting manslaughter for shooting somebody and all that. So it's just a bunch of crazy things.
Literally.
But yeah, now it's like, so I don't know if it's going to wipe away like how much of that stuff is it going to wipe away, I guess. Is it just going to start with the recent gun charge?
You definitely jog my memory too, because I don't know if it's fake news or not. With him pardoning King Larry Hoover.
Yeah, actually, I was going to touch on that too, because I don't know, I don't know if he freed him or like pardoned him or if he just shortened the sentence, because I think he had a life sentence. So I think now he's able to get parole.
Right.
So I think that'll be the next step. And dude is 74. I think Larry Hoover's 74. So
that's ironic. In that
number. I'm sure I could figure out why. No, I like that. But no, I mean it'd be about that timeout thing. Bro's in his 70s, and you know, I could see that parole being a pretty good thing, you know, for a lot of people. Really, like it really could cause some good things to happen. So yeah, that's another related to what I was talking about. I'm glad you brought that up too. And no, that's great. So yeah, we went over a little bit of current events, pretending to be Joe Rogan here. Next on the list, the aliens and UAP. Now, I'm not super intrigued in like the whole like UFO sightings and stuff, but there was like nonstop for a while. It was like, it's in New Jersey, I think. It's like
then the orb or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro,
drones and orbs.
At this point, I mean, obviously, as big as the universe is, we're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they don't want to fuck with us because they probably seen as much.
Yeah, they're like, what are they doing? I'm glad you included that. That was going to be my next question. It was like, what do you think is the thoughts of the aliens?
Just
if they
looking
do
at us
see
like
us?
we just a sitcom show at this point, because
Probably a pretty entertaining one. Yeah.
Oh man.
Not gonna lie, probably. Like, do you? I'm not gonna ask if you've seen a UFO. You probably would have already included that if you saw like, a flying saucer, or have you?
I haven't seen like, you know, the object, but I always see like certain lights that's not normally in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can't really put my hands on it. Like, it's been 3-4 times in my lifetime that I've seen lights come together, separate. Like, it's been insane to me. From red lights to green. I'm like, what the? Unexplainable. So it's like, man, yeah, it's been
vibes. Yeah, that feeling is there. It's like once you see certain things.
And then you just gotta walk quietly to your house and just
like, am I ever gonna see that again?
I mean, normally it's like, that was kind of dope. In the beginning, it was like, it's kind of dope. Second time, it's kind of like, third time, it's like, I don't know what the hell I just saw when I'm walking inside.
Yeah, I think I had like one time where it was at night, but like, you know, when it's like really dark at night, but you can still see the clouds. Yep. And like, there was like a perfect hole in the clouds. And it was just weird. It was eerie how dark that hole was. It wasn't like the sky dark. It was like black. Whoa. So I'm like, I don't know what that, it didn't move, but I was just like, I don't know what that was. And it's creepy because I was out on the water on a boat. So it was just like really dark. And I was like, I don't like this. I'm gonna not think about it, but I think about it.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, I need that. But no, that was the vibe there. But I don't really have much connection with the UFO. So I used to watch a lot of the UFO documentaries when I was a kid, like on like Discovery Channel, and a little bit of Ancient Aliens here and there. Which was kind of fun to watch. Honestly, it's kind of trippy. Like, I don't know.
Since back into the like Egyptian days, like just
like all the similarities in the cultures, and I guess that'll get us into the next segment on the Joe Rogan pet list is ancient cultures. We don't have to necessarily talk about a particular, like, it doesn't have to be related to the aliens potentially building civilizations. But no, I'm not saying we have to. I'm saying it can relate to that. But I was gonna say, we can get into what first is your favorite ancient culture, would you say? Like, or what's the favorite ancient culture of yours to think about that seems interesting, whether it be like a few hundred years ago or a few thousand years ago? Like the caveman, I don't know.
If I mean, most people that know me, it's always like Egyptian, like Anubis is my favorite. Okay. So he just leads them to the next life, but mostly he's like leading the blind and just infatuated with the whole like Ra, son of Ra.
I do. I like
it's kind of like,
I like how the gods relate to teachings about things like It's like the reincarnation stuff is cool, but also like they include stories about like just growth or like birth, like their ideas about how consciousness works, as opposed to just being like, oh, you have one and it goes to the afterlife. I think they kind of try to describe where your consciousness comes from and stuff. And like that's a cool it kind of relates to Asian cultures and like those religions a little bit, reincarnation, but it's got like a different feel with their gods in ancient Egypt and things like that. That was more because what was it like? The ancient Egyptian culture ended like, I want to say 4,000, or they guessed that pyramids were maybe built like 4,000 to 10,000 years ago, I want to say.
Speaking of, did you that was actually one of the other current events.
The
structure is like almost
deeper. Like
it's 10, 12 stories down.
Yeah,
like
it's like three times the height of like the pyramids itself. It's like underground,
and it's in like not pillars, but like what you call
like spirals or something.
Like I want to say spirals or like it's like
it was.
So it's something
detailed.
Yeah, and they found it out recently. So it's like
what's that mean? Yeah.
So was it like the aliens again?
Again, yeah. I mean, that almost makes the most sense, right? There, if you like do all your digging,
old little spaceships. That
otherwise, we just don't know what was going on back then. But no, yeah, that culture, that is, I mean, it's a really interesting culture to think about. I mean, you can, because we, how much we don't know about it. I like to think about, like, prehistoric cultures, because like it's kind of the same thing. We don't really know what they were doing. We know some of the things that they were able to start doing, like hunting and making clothes out of leather and making blades and arrows and spears and all that, but we don't really know like what they were really doing in their day-to-day. In some cases we have a pretty good idea in a lot of cases, but I don't know, like
how to keep themselves
there were
entertained,
because there were animals that didn't exist or that don't exist anymore that they lived alongside that were huge
and vicious
like that.
And just
so I can't even imagine what that kind of world would be like, where America had like lions and stuff.
So that makes me look at, like, back then they were just on some, hey, look, Chuck Diesel, like they was on that timing, so it's like
they must have been like very prepared people,
like off of instinct. So it's like, then we look at us, you know.
I was just thinking, like, what are we then? Dang,
like we got it good to a T, and then definitely how, I mean, shoot, us Americans, some Americans, you know, tend to just be lazy, just like I get to it tomorrow type, like.
Yep.
Man, seize the day. I mean, you was blessed to see another day. Why not just make that little effort?
Right.
It will go a long way. Just stay consistent. So, man, that's all I can say.
Yeah. No, and that kind of relates to one of the other Joe Rogan pet subject was like hunting. We're talking about like I was talking about spear making and stuff. What do you think about hunting in today's world? Like people who hunt. Have you ever went hunting? Do you fish?
I mean, I fish, but then I'm mostly into bow hunting.
Oh, nice. That's cool, actually.
My homie's trying to put me into like the rifle, but I don't know. When it comes to like bows, like I feel more natural with it because it's weird to say, but to me, I never miss my target.
Really? That's dope, man. So you went bow hunting, like.
I only just target.
Okay, I got you.
But I never really went bow hunting.
Cool. I have a cheap bow and arrow set I got kind of recently, but I be shooting in my garage sometimes just because it's fun. I mean, it's
no,
cool.
for real. It
really is.
It just,
I was like, why? It's something natural about that. I should just get one.
So it's just man-made and everything back then, you know.
Yep. So you just make your own bow back in the day, and that was probably really fun too. That man, yeah, like. Getting to make your own weapons was probably like something so spiritual at the time. If you made your own and like carved your own stuff into it and all. No, that's cool. Yeah, I like to fish, but I don't fish enough. Last year I got a fishing license. I think I might have went one time and just like wasted that. I'm like, do I even get it this year? Or do I just like plan on doing more podcasts and stuff? But no, I do want to get outside more. I got kayaks too, so I want to get on those too. But no, that's good though. Yeah, you like to shoot around a little bit. Yeah, we should shoot the bow sometime.
I'll bet, bro.
One of these days we'll shoot a little vlog in the garage, and I'll show you what else I be doing here.
Okay, look,
besides sitting in the basement. But let's see. So one of the other last things on the conspiracy list, the Joe Rogan pet subject list was conspiracies. So we talked a little bit about aliens. What's another conspiracy that comes to mind with just conspiracies in general? Food. It doesn't have to be anything. Food. Okay, good. I didn't want you to say like the Kennedy assassination because that's what a lot of people go to. Nah, I feel like that's over talked about.
As someone that's in the food industry, it's just like nowadays I would say some foods don't taste the same. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it's like you, like for instance, test chicken, never in my life heard that before, and to have that been brought up. Nope, you lost me with that one. I would never ever try chicken at my establishment.
So what is that, I guess?
Apparently they described it as already marinated and seasoned and all that.
Oh.
So I'm like,
I
don't trust that at all.
Sounds but the exact opposite of what I would want.
Because it's like, why would you name it test chicken?
Yeah. That's also iffy. Yeah.
So it's like...
Makes it sound like it's not.
And then how it's cooked and everything too, bro? No, I don't... Nope.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No, I mean, the food industry is definitely conspiracy riddled, I'm sure. I mean, if you're allowing... Like, let's say you put out a meat product. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't legally have to have it be 100% that meat, which is weird
Facts.
because it makes sense because like cardboard even falls in the grinders and stuff, and I get that, but it's like I don't like that, you know. So if it's not fresh, it's like you don't really know what you're getting, especially if it's like processed.
Facts.
Like the more processed, the worse. But that's how it's been since back in the day.
Yeah,
getting them raccoon ankle nuggets.
Because we always look at it, they always say it's over, populated. So it's like, how are you accommodating so many Americans / more like people on Earth?
It's a lot of people. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Either you're cloning, you're manufacturing, or
genetically modifying to the point that it's like barely that animal anymore or something. It's just a gross
with
creature.
the two head chicken situation.
As long as it's got meat on it, like like it's got cancer on it all over it,
or radiation. Let me stop. But no, what's that term? What, Soylent Green?
Yeah, Soylent Green. That's like they find out it's people and stuff. And
that helped me to this day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these ideas sometimes come from real places. So I don't know. When they make you think, it's good to do the thinking sometimes. And like I said, the food industry. I mean, even aside from that, there's like the whole I guess the conspiracy behind the way food tries to promote itself as healthier than it actually is. Right. And then people develop unhealthy addictions to that food because they think it's healthier. But it's like really they're just feeding cravings and they're brainwashed by propaganda and advertising.
Facts.
And it's like that. There's a lot of that too. So no, I like that you brought that up. That's a good subject. And look at that, guys. That was like a whole Joe Rogan podcast. In what are we at for that segment? We're at 16 minutes. That was a whole Joe Rogan podcast right there, guys. It's beautiful. We'll get into another one here and then probably get going for this podcast. We've really been enjoying this one. We were just to switch it back to the music stuff a little bit for the outro. So I do remember you were working with and then eventually signed to a local label. T1 Entertainment.
Yeah, T1 Entertainment.
We were talking about Big Bang a little bit ago and how we worked with them and Tone. And tell me a little bit about just kind of before you got, because you got signed around the time that we were putting out those songs we were talking about earlier together. Right. And then like you were doing more work with them for a while. And then tell me a little bit about kind of what led to that getting signed and then being there at the beginning, if you can.
All right. So like mostly when, with YC, Marcus and I, we were doing local shows.
Yep, a lot, actually. A lot.
And our biggest one ever was that Halloween show. I can't remember the name that bar was at that time.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if I was at. I
want to say you showed up for a little bit, but had to leave.
Yeah, because there was one Halloween show I think I performed at, and then there was like one I think I missed. I can't remember which one.
No, actually, I think you did miss that one.
Yeah, it might have been the one I missed.
And that was literally our biggest Halloween show that we ever threw.
Yeah, because I do. I wanted to. I remember missing out. I was like, damn, I should have been at that one. Fuck. Like honestly, yeah. That was the one I missed for sure.
It went smoothly, all the way throughout the night, and made pretty much good bank. But that was around time where I was conversing with Tone about like my future as an artist, and then wanted to pursue it on a different scale. So he, took consideration of that, and then saw how I conducted myself throughout the night and when I performed.
Yep.
And it was,
you're not one to just get drunk and like, lose lose control and like not even worry about tapping in with people. You like to, tap in,
you feel me? So
network and be there.
And that was just, that was more natural than anything. But and then also, I had a song with Ike. He was already signed with T1.
Yeah,
and then my god sister Alicia, she was also signed. So it's just I had those those leeways, but at the same time, had to prove myself. Right. So, man, killed it. He loved what he saw. At the end of the show, came to me like, look, we should talk more. I'll be free this day. Hey.
Setting up meetings at that point.
Yeah, man.
And I don't want you to disclose any money you made from like signing. I'm not obviously, but yeah, I will state that right now. You don't have to, and I'm not about to ask that, but like, so I just, I'd prefer we don't even talk about that because like that's your business and we don't want people to like try to link up with him now that they found something out like that. But no, that's awesome that you did it that way and it was natural, and then you got to like, just kind of like, because not just because you knew people involved already, but because you knew those people, it helped at least get your foot in the door, but you still got a chance to prove yourself. Now tell me a little bit about, because you weren't just like signed and like putting out songs and like, over like, just dropping all of a sudden. It was more, you got into songwriting at that point more. Was that true? Or were you already into songwriting?
He kind of pushed that kind of factor when we was having like R&B artists show up. And especially when Isaac, like I said, was signed too.
Yeah. And
that's when it kind of, like I had the idea of being a songwriter, but never was confident enough.
Okay.
Until like I said, I had that little push. And man, that's how we came up with the song Want It.
Okay.
So, and Isaac loved it and did his thing on it, and just, it was amazing how just everything just kind of just like fluently.
So who pushed you the most to do that, to start writing then, would you say?
I would say definitely Tone.
Definitely
Tone.
Because
he just saw the skills like before I even went to that point. Mm-hmm. And then also one of my other good homies, I call him Vizzy, yeah. Vision. So they pretty much like played a part in my songwriting critiques and like, just do it. Go ahead, do it, bro. You got it.
Nice.
So,
did you like collaboratively write, or did you usually write like the whole song and then it would be like, done like how you wrote it, or would you like write something and then it would be tweaked, or would you write something with someone ever?
The first song of like to write and then have a critique is mostly I want to say it was Mr. Reckless that I had featuring with Tone.
Okay.
And then afterwards, it came down to Want It. A little bit with the hook per se, and a little bit in certain verses, but majority is just me, just laying it all down, man.
The ink is still dry.
And it was just, and like I said, Isaac loved it firsthand, like wow.
Hell yeah. Most definitely. No, that's awesome. It seems like it was easy for you to get into too. I mean, I could definitely picture that because we had already worked together. So like, it doesn't surprise. I was like, when you got signed, it was literally like, makes sense. It wasn't like, what? Crate got. It was like, well, yeah, that makes sense why Crate would get signed. Like, out of all of us, like, Crate that's awesome. I'm like, I didn't really know what that would mean because I'm not too familiar with like, non-major deals, like non-major label deals. I'm just not like, I only hear about those like deals as far as like mainstream deals, I guess, for the most part. It seemed really impressive at the time, even so, and it's cool that we saw Tone kind of build that too. Mm-hmm. And like, I wasn't there for like all of that, but definitely you get to see it if you're around.
Right.
What was it like kind of after you got signed and got established doing that? Then did it become easier for you to write like songs for other people? Did it kind of like become less important for you to write songs for other people and more important for you to like start like writing for yourself more? Or did that cut into your work at all?
I would say mostly it opened my eyes to where my true passion lies, because writing for another artist, I don't know, I found more pleasure into that because I've already written my story. You only write your story for like so many times. Mm-hmm. And to venture out and it could just take about like, man, 15, 20 minutes of hearing about your story or whatever you're going through, and then hearing your voice, I can instantly come up with something that will relate. And
put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, man.
That's kind of a fun process too, I bet.
Especially where it helps being an empath. So
yeah, that too. That would make it a lot easier to write for people too. No, that's cool too. Like, did it help you start making more like music in general, or did it make you feel busier? Like, now that I've got to write, now that I'm writing for more people and I'm writing for myself, this is like becoming harder.
Yeah, it definitely became a difficult situation.
Did it?
Kind of inner conflict. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to finish what I'm doing, but then I want to make sure what it's like, you don't separate from, again, it's just this inner battle of I got to stay to one thing.
Like I want to do the most professional thing, but I also want to do my thing for like myself, which isn't not like it's not professional, but I want like the most professional thing would be like to do this thing for this company, or as opposed to like what I want to do, because that's not like work ethic. It's like, I want to do what I want to do, but you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of putting it. What year were you signed? That would have been 2020? 2019. Okay. Yeah. That definitely sounds right. Yeah. How long were you signed to T1 for?
About a couple years.
Okay. What about the shows you were doing? Did you do more shows with them?
Oh, definitely.
Was it way more shows?
A lot more shows.
Because they be doing all the good local, like we're talking about the venue shows that are like, let's say polished. I like that term. They're more polished and they seem more inviting. And yeah, you probably got to be. It's like the amphitheater, I think, was the one that I couldn't remember the name of. It's the amphitheater right by the river. You probably got to do that, didn't you? Yeah, I was gonna say that's a nice one. That amphitheater is a nice one. What were some of your other venues that you enjoyed doing? We kind of talked about that a little bit earlier because I asked about your opinions on the bar scenes, but any other like venues, I guess?
I want to say, and it's thanks to Isaac, it was I want to say TCR. The one that's, right in after was 2nd Street, 3rd?
Yeah, it's downtown there. Is that like the indoor big stage probably? Yeah,
bro.
That's cool. That was pretty cool.
One of my favorites because I've always, as a one of those kids that being plays and whatnot, just getting back there and doing music is kind of like
really takes you back, but you're like, this is bigger now.
Facts, bro. That's one of my favorite, like I can't cap to this day.
That's awesome. No, that'd be a good one. Yeah, that amphitheater down by the river would just look cool on a nice day. I know a few people that have done that too. I think Bone Thugs and Harmony performed there one time too. Yeah,
that, man.
Yeah, that was like probably a couple years ago, but that's pretty cool. I think it was all of, or at least the group. It might have. Yeah, I want to say it was like maybe a couple of them, but yeah, I want to say it was like majority of the group. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I guess. Are you still on good terms with T1 Entertainment, or do you still, maybe not on good terms isn't the right way to put it, but are you still on talking terms? Are you still on working terms? What's the vibe like that?
Mostly, Tone is like very busy, so and I obviously has more artists to work with. So me, I'm in my own lane right now.
Yeah.
So
it probably worked out better for you trying to get back on that trajectory. Because like we were talking about a little bit ago, there's more, you're probably doing more and working on more at the time when it probably took away from your time to be able to do those things. But I could definitely see that. And like you said, yeah, he's very busy and works with a lot of people. So if you're trying to get more out, or not out there, because it's like, yeah, he will help you get out there, T1 will help you get out there, and it's like, yeah, it's an interesting process where it's like being a part of a collective. When you're getting into that process, it's like it takes some getting used to, and like you might, it's not like when you just get to be in the studio recording over and over. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. No, definitely.
Kind of getting ramble mode.
No, because everyone always, as introverts, it's just like he kind of took me out of that zone a little bit, and especially as an entertainer and performer. It was like switches. It will switch as soon as I'm on the stage, type in, and he kind of brought something different and more,
something new out of you, or like
I would say, it evolved.
Yeah.
And it definitely played a part with the people that I was surrounded with, and being able to witness from the behind the scenes to how they, I would not say rituals, but it's just how they just develop themselves as fellow artists.
Right. And exactly, it's like you get those influences and maybe get to be in circles that you're not normally around and a part of. So no, I mean that's like really the best part of it. And yeah, you've definitely evolved since like when we used to record to like post you being signed and everything. And I mean, yeah, you've still got it, I will say. And, I know you could get in here anytime. We could definitely knock some out easily.
Hey, bro, look,
we'd be busier the older we get and all, but
indeed.
But no, that's cool to hear about. Some like a little bit more about you being signed in that process that I didn't know before. I'm sure I could probably ask a bit more. I mean, what are some other things you'd like to share about that time period that come to mind, like that I might have missed? Is there anything?
Well, definitely help with, like I said, like you were saying, connections and whatnot. Help gain a little knowledge too with the music industry. Everything ain't rainbows and daisies type, and it's like there's a lot more work ethic behind it instead of just recording, throwing it somewhere and then having it make its numbers. That's just throwing a coin in a wishing well.
It probably was another good lesson of that. Like back in the day when we were growing up, we saw plenty of stories that was like, well, I made my demo tape. I just got to bring it to Def Jam and slide it on the desk, and that's it. Now that I got my demo tape ready, I just got to bring it to Def Jam Records, and once they listen to it, I'll be signed and be a millionaire. So and also, once you grow up and you start actually going through things like what you've been through and all that, then you definitely learn more of how easy or hard it can be.
Man, but when I say work ethic, I understatement because you have to have an agenda. You have to stay consistent with it. You got to stay true to it because deadlines are the main things that can make or break you.
Yeah.
Because in that time frame, you have to make sure you're getting that exposure. You're connecting with some of your fans. You got to be interactive throughout the whole process. You can't there's no breaks, to be honest. The only breaks you get is when you sleep at night.
I like that explanation. That's very detailed, actually. I like that. That's a good breakdown of what it means to work at it versus just like, I have songs and I'm just gonna put them out, and this is just like you said, trajectory, the vision, where you're gonna go. You can't just get what you want and then stop working. You gotta still work after you get somewhere.
Indeed.
And that's a good hands-on lesson on that, I would say. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that a lot. And let's see. I think that's probably all for today's podcast. But once again, man, I really appreciate you coming by. We definitely will be getting on here again. Like I said, we should do a tier list sometime and kind of rank some things.
Most definitely. I'm ready for that one.
Now that I got an idea of the things you might be into for that, we'll have some fun on the next one, and we'll be able to make it a bit more playful. But do you have any like final plugs or final like shout outs that you'd want to give before we wrap this one up at all? Or
most definitely. I'm about to say, like I said, my homie C-Note. Goes by C-Note Boss. I mean, lately, C-Note Underdog, the Underdog, D-A, brr. But right now, we have a collab album coming out July 4th. It's going to be called Smash Bros.
Smash Bros.
If there's indication, you already know. But no, it's going to be 5 tracks. Like I said, short album, EP. So it's definitely worth the listen because we went crazy on each back to back. It'll remind you of like Step Brothers. So
nice. No, I'm excited to hear it, man. I'm definitely excited to hear like a new project from you.
Appreciate it, bro.
Shout out to Stack. Yeah, did you say he's your cousin?
That's my blood cousin.
Okay, yeah. Shout out CFO Stack. Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to get in the works with him for a bit, but I just haven't had the right move quite yet. I do want to get some music with him in the near future because he's fire. He be freestyling.
He definitely showed me some new stuff lately, or actually a month ago, and I was like, wow,
because he just dropped a mixtape too with one of his friends. But shout out Stack too, man. And everyone, all of our mutuals like Back Talk and YC, man. Too many, honestly. Got Egypt, man. Yeah, the guys from the What's Up days and everything. But now, yeah, we'll probably call it good. Again, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you made it this far into the video, then you're a winner. You know, you won. You won this. You won getting to be here right now at this point. So, yeah, hopefully you're here for the next one, and we'll continue on then.
All right.
Peace.